Hey, Winston here with the Real Estate Template. We are back at 1128 Slater's Creek Drive, other known as FU Tommy Long LLC. Since we've been here last time, they came and they got the fascia up on the board. They got the soffits done. They're gonna come back and put gutters and downspouts within the next couple of days. We haven't gotten those yet. Some shutters, not necessarily what I wanted. I like more to make our own, but for this particular piece of property, we decided just to go ahead and buy the store-bought shutters and put them up there. So the downspouts will kind of tie everything back in. We got round posts going up on each one of the porches. That'll tie it in a little bit more. So we got a lot more to come. So what we did over here was different than what I was expecting to do. So I came over, Tim had started backfilling right here. When he backfilled, I was gonna put a retaining wall up. If you look at the previous videos when we was talking about it, I was gonna put a retaining wall up there. But he was able just to feather it off, put a step right there where it's really not gonna have to have any handrails. So we'll bring it up above where it's less than 3 feet on the porches, so we don't have to put handrails on it. And then basically we'll bring this all in with just some more topsoil and dirt. We'll sod it. That'll be done once it's done. We still got to do a little bit of pressure washing on the bricks, clean the brick, because I don't like the color contrast between the two right there. But we poured some steps, brought the walkway in. Any questions there, Mr. Nick?
Is there going to be any railings or anything?
No, we won't need any rails. That was why I wanted to bring it up higher, so that we didn't put any rails, but he was able to get it up high enough that we can get it up below where it's not 3 foot. If it's 3 foot or more, you got to have a handrail.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we don't have to have that. So let's walk around back. We'll look at back, then we'll come in and we'll look at and see what we got inside there. I'm looking at a lot of dirt on that black fascia or soffit. So we'll have to come in here when they pressure wash the brick. We'll have them clean all that up real good. You like the black and the white or what?
I do. It makes it look clean. Once the white gets a little dirty, though, it might look dirty.
It don't. I'm not a vinyl siding person. Every time we talk, I say the same thing. I would prefer to use hardy board or something like that. Typically on something like this, that will work fine. If I got to come over here once every couple of years and shoot it with a pressure washer and some bleach the white out, would be fine. If it was all white, that's a whole different story. This is a grinder pump. So this right here will go in the ground. The septic will go into the side of it. And there's a pump in the bottom that takes all of the solids, any paper, anything like that, grinds it all up, throws it into the main sewer line. So this is a perfect reason why people shouldn't flush tampons. You get a tampon string hung in there, it blocks the pump up, the pump won't start. You throw let's say people like those disposable wipes and they flush them down the toilet. Okay, when you do that, it clogs up the pump and it just stops the pump completely, so it doesn't allow it to push anything out. It'll stop the motor. If the motor don't grind it up all the way and it stops before it finishes, then it won't start up the next time a lot of times. So that's why we don't want stuff like that. We just ran into a problem on another property where somebody dumped a bunch of grease into their sinks. So they dumped it in the sink. So what happens when you dump grease in your sink, that starts hardening up all the way through your plumbing in your house. Builds up on the bottom, starting on the bottom, and just continues to build up more and more and more until it stops your pipes up. You have somebody come jet them. Then if you got a grinder pump like this is, then it gets on the floats, it gets on the pump, it gets on everything, and it clogs everything up so that nothing works right. The floats won't come up because they're too heavy with grease. It's just a real big hassle. Anybody out there that's moving into a rental property that you're not aware of, never pour grease down your drains. It's never a good idea, whether you own it or don't own it. We will charge about an $800 fee to come fix this right here if somebody dumps grease in there, because we got to pull everything apart. We got to pressure wash everything out of there. We got to typically take a scraper and scrape the grease off of it. It's a big pain in the behind. So let's go see what we got. So he's got this one built up. We will actually bring dirt all the way around it, but we'll still keep it 3 or 4 inches out of the ground, make sure it's never in the ground. And it goes into this little small 2-inch line right here. And when it goes in it, everything that comes out your body that goes in that toilet is ground up and runs through this little bitty pipe right here. Boom, all the way out. All the way to Nashville.
No way.
Well, it goes into a little bigger line at the thing, but that's all it is.
What is the point of it getting all the way to Nashville? How do we not have a...
We don't have a disposal place around here, so our sewage is pumped from here to Hendersonville, then Hendersonville pumps it from there to Nashville.
That seems like a lot.
That's why your sewage ain't cheap.
Makes sense.
Looks like Bo came in and got the bank on there, so notice how we got each side labeled. Both units are coming from here, and then we run a pipe through the attic all the way to the other side to get power to the other unit. But there's only
go through the attic.
This is the only meter base right here. So remember you was asking about the pressure that's going to have on the wall on the other side? I haven't even looked at this yet, but that right there will hold that pressure back. So that might have been misunderstood a little bit. I told them to make sure the water ran off on this side. That's a lot more slope than I was expecting to have on it. They didn't put it on the other one, but they put it on this one.
That's a full brick slope.
Huh?
It's a full brick slope.
Yeah.
All the way down there. Because you were just looking for 2%.
Maximum. I didn't care. I just need the water to run. So we will still backfill all the way up to there. If I was living here, I'd want some different things changed, but I'm not living here. It needs to be a good, stable rental. And that's the biggest thing I'm looking for.
Is this going to have a gate?
No.
Just open?
Now you think the mayor's going to come over here and vandalize it?
I mean,
he might.
He's pretty close.
He might. He's that level of a piece of crap.
So if you were to sell one at a time and the electric is on the same...
It's just on that side. So you're saying, could we split it down the center and sell it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be fine.
It's not hard?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you can do that. Now, typically you would set that up before you built it to be able to divide it.
Okay.
I would do the engineering for that before I built it.
What else is new? It's been like 3 weeks.
Well, let's go inside. We should have all the painting should be done now. The trim should be up, painted. We are still waiting, so that other pump will sit right here. It'll sit right there for that side. The sewer pump.
They each
sewer
get
tank.
their own. Yeah.
Yeah. Each one goes. Everything is independent. So whenever you run the electric bills, nothing from this side goes on the other side. Nothing from the other side goes on this side. So what you think used to be right there?
Wires for a TV?
Well, that's going to be a cabinet right there. That's a stove, so it'll be a vent hood. It'll be covered, but I don't know why that hole's there. So the sprinkler company will probably come in another week or so and start setting all that up to make sure all the sprinkler heads are in and covered up like they need to be. They're going to turn power on within the next couple of days too, so once they turn the power on, we'll be able to see what the lights look like. It's a lot of lights, huh?
I was going to say, there's a lot of lights.
You know why there's a lot of lights?
Why?
Because my electrician charges me by the light.
So he puts a lot.
And he puts more in because he can charge me more money.
Just cause. It's good lighting though.
Huh?
It's good lighting.
He calls me a friend. Well, he's got like 400 lights in his house. His son Brandon usually lays out the lights, and he is adamant about no shadows. So what he tries to set the light up so that wherever you are, there's no shadow. And that's why we got so many lights, is just to make sure when it's turned on and you're sitting there reading something, it doesn't shine a shadow from you. You got light coming from a different direction that's blending in,
right?
Working well. So we do that. And I like a lot of light. I definitely do.
These are white light. It's not a yellow.
Yes. So these will do 3K, 4K, or 5K. So the 5K are the ones that's daylight lights, and then the 4K and 3K is kind of a warm light and a cool light. So
I like the cooler the better.
Well, I don't like cool. Cool gives you an orange look, a little bit of an orangish look. I don't particularly like that, so I would prefer to go with a day. I like a daylight light, like what we got in our office.
Yeah, I like those.
Those are daylight.
That's not a cooler light?
It's called daylight. If you go buy an LED bulb and it says daylight, it's going to give you that white light like that, or blue light, whatever they call it, a blue light. So the plumbers are supposed to come in within the next couple of days and do the trim out. When I get back from my cruise, we'll be in really good shape. This house may be just about done.
A light right above the shower.
When you're washing your wandelier, do you want to see it? You want to make sure it's good and clean?
Yeah.
What if you got something on it ain't supposed to be on it? You need light to see that stuff so you clean it.
I do need a light to see it. How do you make it so that...
And a magnifying glass, probably. But that's neither here nor there.
How do I make it so that if water gets in there or whatever...
It's a waterproof light.
It's just a waterproof light. None of the other lights are waterproof.
No, they're all these right here are damp location and stuff. You can put them outside.
Oh, okay.
So only thing that'll ever hit that is steam.
We fixed the doors. So this was just an import issue.
Huh?
Importing and exporting issue. Like they ran out of and supply issue.
I don't know what happened. They sent the wrong door. And when they called, they didn't have the right door in stock. So he installed the frame because they wanted a frame, and they just pulled the door off and brought him the door back.
Have you ever had anything like that happen where you then had to halt construction for a week or two till you got
We've had some issues with doors. We've definitely had some issues with doors. But typically it don't last too long. So again, that's the data box. All the data is gonna come in right there. I like to shut every door because I wanna know that nothing's dragging anywhere. And if something happens to be dragging, we can get it fixed. Remember we had one door on the other side that we went in and opened and it was hanging?
Yeah.
Right after they hung it. Not a big bedroom, but I guess it's big enough.
Yeah.
I grew up in a trailer a lot of times, so it's bigger than the trailer bedroom was. So I think next time I build this house, and I'm gonna build this house again, I think next time I build it, I'm gonna punch it out 2 more feet that way. And I'm gonna add another 2 feet to this room, right, the bedroom, master bedroom.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good thing for this room.
Will the living room go farther too? Or just this
bedroom and that bedroom, because we only take the center and move the center that way.
Yeah.
Everything else would be the same.
Do you think people make it far more complicated than it is building a house?
I think that people do make it more complicated than what it is, but I also think that I have a tendency to talk about it like it's easy. And it's easy because I've been doing it for years. So it's not hard, but it's not easy either. I mean, if somebody is new to a building, then they gotta understand. See that right there? There is a process that you got to get to be efficient. So your first build, if you're expecting your first build to go perfect, it's not. It's never gonna go perfect.
Right.
But by the time you get to your third build, it's probably still not gonna go perfect, but it's probably gonna go pretty daggone good. If you learn from your mistakes.
Because people keep commenting like, hey, should I get a GC license before I build a house? I tell people no.
No, I mean, use a general contractor. Use somebody else to pull a permit, somebody else to manage the project. I would definitely do that if you've never built one before. I'd have somebody else do that and walk through it and learn. If down the road, you need a general contractor's license and to make it worthwhile, you need to be doing that 4 or 5 houses a year before you worry about that. Otherwise, pay a general contractor. They'll take a lot of headaches away from you. And do you really want to be a professional builder, or do you want to be a professional investor? And I would lean more towards I want to be a professional investor. I want to be great at what I do best.
Right. Because they think that they need to know everything on how to build a house, even though they're paying a contractor to do everything. They just feel like they need to know everything.
No, not at all. I think that if Christina came in here and built this house, and Christina knows nothing about building, nothing. But I have no doubt in the world that she couldn't come in here and manage this project to build it, and manage a general contractor to build it, and get everything that she wants. And she's not, she doesn't, she cannot walk through this room and pick out errors that she sees or things that we see. She would see aesthetic-wise stuff, but that would be all she would see. So I think that a lot of people get hung up on that kind of stuff. I think you just go do it. Go do your first one and have a great experience building your first home. Don't try and manage the project. Don't try and do all that stuff. Have somebody else do it. Make it where you can make money. Maybe you don't make a ton of money, but you make money. If you don't make a penny, who cares? As long as you don't lose any money. You do it and you break even, but yeah, you got the experience of building a house that you didn't have before. How much is that worth?
That plus
I think it's priceless. I think experience is priceless, man.
Yeah. Experience plus appreciation, some equity.
Yeah. Would I show up, maybe do a little cleaning on the job site and make sure everything looks good and all? Yeah, you can still show up and be here. But I don't think you need to actually do the work. I like just coming by, looking at stuff, checking everything out, and making sure everything's good. These doors ain't so bad. Them solid core doors that are heavy, oh my goodness. We run into so many problems with people coming in and putting these, we saw the painters had the doors off. Inevitably, the painters will put the doors back on and they run these screws in with their drills and strip everything out. And it is a constant problem. It's a constant problem. So probably before it's all said and done, I will come over here and I will hand test every screw in here to make sure nothing's stripped out.
Really?
Yeah. And if it's stripped out, then I will have the contractor come back and make sure that he fixes them all. There's a 2x4 right here, right?
Yeah.
So the hinge just screws into this 1x right here. So if you had to get into it, you could go through here into the 2x4 behind it.
Right.
And pull it in. Those are good so far. We're gonna give Dustin 1 attaboy.
What is one thing that you do go extra on when you're building a rental property? Do you go extra, on the doors?
No, I don't go extra. I go quality. I want an extremely quality house. I don't want anything done cheaply or cheap. I want good materials, good products, and that's across the board. I don't want trashy products anywhere. Now, I guess I'm selling right now by putting vinyl on here because I don't typically like vinyl. But that would be the only thing that I've put in here that I don't really care for. But, we went in some houses where they're using 24-inch studs on the interior walls. They're putting them 24-inch on center. Well, you barely hit that wall, you have a bunch of hole in it. Your kids run into it with something or fall into it, and they fall through the wall. It's not that. So I don't like that. So I don't do construction like that. This is a well-built, stick-built home. And, we've done it from the word go. We've videotaped everything that's happened with this particular home. And you can see throughout the whole build, everything is quality, nothing is not. We could have got away with not using dense board between here and the other apartment. We could have done it with just drywall, but that's better. So I'd rather it better. I want good. I don't want a bunch of sound transfer from here to the other unit. I want it to be quiet from here to there.
Gotcha.
And that's a big deal for me. So you notice right there, we got a closet that separates this bedroom from that apartment. Then on the other side of that apartment, there's a closet that separates that bedroom from this bedroom, right? Same exact bedroom on that side.
Right.
Right? So that wall is gonna be really hard for anything to transfer from inside this bedroom into that other bedroom. The sound.
Right, because it's got a lot.
So then whenever you're looking in here, in this bedroom, we got a bathroom right there, so that's gonna stop sound travel also. So I would think with the dense glass that we're using stuff that we probably won't even have any sound travel from bathroom to bathroom.
I don't think so either.
I think it's gonna do pretty good.
What
yeah,
is-
they must had a wire stuck here that they were supposed to put a receptacle on both sides, and took it out and put a receptacle up there.
But they'll easily just come back and patch it.
The cabinet's gonna cover it up, so I'll probably just hang the cabinet right over top of it. I would lie and say I think they're gonna patch it, but I would bet money they're not gonna patch it. They're gonna hang that freaking cabinet.
In the very beginning, building a couple houses, have some renters for the first time. What was a couple things that stuck out to you that the renters complained about the most, and then you adjusted as your builds moved on?
I don't have a lot of renters complain. Scott was over at neighborhood that we bought in Smithville this morning and talked to several of the tenants and that had been there, long-term tenants. And they said that property is in better shape than it's ever been since they've been there. But we're pumping a couple $1 million in rehabs on that apartment right now, on that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So we're putting a ton of money into it because we want to fix it. And why do I want to fix it?
Because it's your investment.
I want to fix it because I can raise rents, right?
Yes.
So how much? Let's say we put $1.5 million in money on that. How much money do we have to raise the rents to cover that at a 6 cap?
And you put $1.5 million into it.
Yeah.
And the whole place is.
So how much does the rents need to go up in order to make $1 million as far as the value of it as a neighborhood?
I wouldn't even know the math behind that.
So as we go in and fix it up, does our expenses go up or down?
The expenses go up.
No, the expenses will go down. They'll go up while we're doing it, but once we're finished, we're finished. The expenses will drop. So if we use the expenses we're using right now, then those expenses will be good. So when I raise the rent, if I raise the rent $200 more, does it add any expenses to that? No, it's just clear profit at that point. So let's say we're able to raise rents $300, okay? Come over here where you can get I don't have glasses, so this is gonna be rough. All right, so we're gonna go to calculator. So we're gonna look at that. So we said $300?
$300.
So $300 times 57 houses, that's how many's in that neighborhood. That's gonna be $17,000 a month. We're gonna multiply that 17,000 times 12 months in a year. That didn't work right? 300 times
12.
57 is 17.1 times 12. 205,000. It's 205,000 if we divide that by 0.07 or 0.6.
Because it's at
That
6
increases
cap.
the value of that neighborhood $3.4 million.
Whoa. Okay.
So we put $1.5 million in it, but we increased the value of the neighborhood 3.5.
Which is doubling your money, essentially, on the equity and side of things.
That's the value in knowing your numbers. We got a class coming up on June the 21st, 2nd, and 23rd. Y'all need to sign up for that class and come get it, because this is the kind of stuff we're going to talk about. But no, I mean, that's, how do you know whether it's going to fix the problem? Remember I told you we bought the apartment complex and got in there and wound up having to do so much more than we wanted to do.
Yeah.
But as I got in there and I started looking, I said, okay, we got to do this and we got to do this. How can I not lose my ass on this? So we realized what we needed to raise the rents up to break even, and I could raise the rents up twice what I wanted to raise the rents up. So because I could raise the rents up so much more, it actually made money by putting an extra $2 million in the project than what I was initially anticipating. And now we're almost 100% occupied over there. I mean, we are occupied pretty well everywhere. You know, the neighborhood in Smithfield, we still got 8 houses we're rehabbing right now, something like that. And that's going to take a little bit of time, but that is understanding those numbers. I keep saying that is the king. I mean, that is the king. It dictates everything that I do. If the numbers don't make sense, I don't do it. If the numbers don't make sense, I find a different way to do it. If the numbers don't make sense, we may have to build a smaller house. We may have to do this different. We may have to do that different until we can make the numbers work. And I think you're seeing a lot of builders are starting to condense the size of the houses that they build down a little bit because they can't make the money with the bigger houses. It's just not there.
Right. When you're rehabbing a place and you use cash, you can cash out refi to get all your money back that you just
If I buy a place that needs rehab, I'm gonna pay cash for the place. I'm gonna pay cash for my rehab, and I'm gonna pull 100% of my money out afterwards. So I'm not gonna have a penny invested in the deal. And I'm still gonna make cash flow. I'm still gonna get my depreciation. I'm still gonna get the appreciation, but what am I getting appreciation on? Not what I paid for. I'm getting appreciation on I'm gonna get forced appreciation, number one. That's the money I put into it that made the house worth more money, right? And then I'm on the forced appreciation. If it increased the value from 150 to 200, now I'm getting appreciation on 200, not 150. So that makes you more money. So I'm still getting that. So you're getting your cash flow, your appreciation, depreciation. If I got a note on it now, I got principal reduction. Infinite too. So I mean, I can't even judge it and say I'm making 1,000% return, because it's way more than 1,000% because you got nothing invested in it.
It's based off of zero.
Yeah, if you get to an infinite, you can make 100,000% return, but 100% you got nothing invested. So it's all return. Everything.
Exactly. So let's say you buy the place with cash, but you got a construction loan from the bank to rehab it.
So you're not doing it with cash.
Well, you bought the place
Okay.
with cash,
Okay.
but you need more money from
Is
the
it
bank.
a rehab or a new build?
Rehab.
All right, so you borrowed the money from the bank to rehab it.
To rehab it. You bought
Okay.
it with cash, rehabbing it with a construction loan. When can you cash out refi?
As soon as you finish it.
They don't care about that on construction loans for rehabbing?
Well, no, because you're probably going to do about 40% more value to the house you're going to add to it usually on that if it's that kind of a expense, and you can pull all your money back out of it.
Do you have to get a tenant?
If you're doing a debt service coverage ratio loan, yeah, it's got to have a tenant in it, or it should have a tenant in it. I don't know if you always have to have a tenant in it. I am actually right now, the bank has already done an appraisal on this place, and I would do a cash out refi on it, or not refi, but I'll pull all my cash out of it as soon as before it's probably rented. And I'm pulling my money out because when I bought, I still owe somebody. When I bought one of them neighborhoods, I had them pull a second. The owner pulled a second mortgage for $900,000. So this year I got to give him in July. I got to give him $450,000 or something like that. So I'll give him that money. So I'm gonna pull it out of this. Give it to him, and that takes care of him. So what did I do? I deployed money here, built something, worked for more money, and now you pull the money out of that, and you just go give them the money you got. And you still own this right here, and it's still makes you money.
Yeah, people still forget that like you can sell this place and recoup $300,000.
Yeah. I'm assuming this will appraise probably for $450,000, maybe $500,000.
So you did it with all cash. You're able to cash out refi after you got it appraised.
Yeah.
You have to get it appraised first.
Yeah, but the appraiser's already come in.
When is he allowed to come in? It's not done yet.
He's going to look at the square footage. He can look at what's being done. He knows the cabinets are going in. He knows everything else is going to be done. Basically, if it's $240 a square foot they're going to give me on appraisal, then it's $240 a square foot. So these are what, 1,100 square foot? So let's say it's 240 a square foot. So at 1,100, at 2,200, that's 2,200 square feet times 240. That'd make it 528 if they were using 240 a square foot.
Okay, so he's basing off square footage.
You still making it difficult, ain't you?
Yeah,
It's not that difficult.
exactly.
It's not that difficult.
It's not that difficult.
As I said, we're having a class June 21st, 22nd, 23rd. This is what we teach. Look at that, man. I got 2 gigs in there.
You did. That was fantastic.
Never done that before. We'll come back next week or maybe Thursday. We'll come back next week.
Let's just come back later tonight.
Later tonight? Nothing will change.